Hey everybody, it's Angela back with another process video. And on this layout, I'm going to use a new product that I got, and it's the We Are Memory Keepers Love Notes. And I really just love this paper. I think there's only one paper in here where I don't really like the pattern, and that's that tulip pattern they have on there. But otherwise, I love all the other pieces of paper. So I'm going to use that. And the only other thing I got to go along with this kit were these Project Life type cards. And so I'm flipping through those, looking to see, I don't do Project Life per se, but I use the cards for layering and matting and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm just going through. They have some that are specialty die cut cards. And then later I also realized they have some little like pockets and stuff in the back too, which is kind of cool. And so they have a lot of nice sentiments. And so yeah, the paper and the cards are the only thing I got. I figured I have enough stuff in my stash that will go along with this, flowers and stuff like that, that I don't really need to buy the rest of it. So I really like this side of the paper. The other side is that tulip that I don't like, so I'm going to use the documented side. I love this watercolor paper, but I don't want to do the whole layout on that because she kind of just, all the flowers and stuff in the baby photo just kind of fade into the background paper if I completely use that watercolor paper. And then I also love that pink ombre board paper, and the pink is a perfect match to some of the pink in this photo. So I'm just going to go ahead and mat it on the pink. And I love that this paper is double-sided, so it gives you some options. So I'm just going to go ahead and mat that. And then I love that watercolor paper, but like I said, she kind of gets lost on there if I completely use it. So I'm just going to use a portion. About half of it, I think, is what I'm going to cut it down as. And then I'm going to trim it on the top and bottom. And there's a little XOXO in that top corner and a little heart kind of halfway down. And I want to try to get those so that they still show, because I think those are nice little details. And so now I'm just trimming off the manufacturer's strip on this paper. And I've trimmed down my watercolor paper. And so I think I'm just trimming it up a little shorter. So that's what I'm going to go with pretty much for my paper. And now I'm going to start looking through the cards. And I really like this sentiment, I love and adore you. I think that's a good sentiment for a baby photo. And here's where I realized they have these cute little craft bags in the back. I hadn't even noticed them before. So I'm looking through to find another one. I want to layer about 3 cards over on that left-hand side. So I'm just looking for ones that'll fit, vertical and horizontal. So I'm looking through, and I kind of like that one that has a little bit of a heart, but it just wasn't quite working. And the die cut out ones weren't working for me either. So I keep going through, and these cards are all double-sided as well. So you have to kind of remember to look on the back side, because each side of them has some great illustrations. I really do like this collection. I may break down and get some of the other stuff. I guess there's other stuff that comes with it. I don't know. I didn't look to see if there were any kind of sticker packs or chipboard or anything that went with it. But I really like that because it's still soft. I put the green up there. And I'm going to use some flowers from my stash for this. That's going to be the real pops of color on this. So I'm just going light with everything else. So I go ahead and adhere that watercolor paper down there. And I ran out of dry adhesive, and I don't have any more glue for my ATG gun. So I'm going to have to go use a coupon and get some more dry adhesive, but I've got my trusty glue stick, which actually works out pretty good because I can kind of lift and move stuff while it's still wet. So now I'm just slipping that one in there so that you can still read the sentiment. And then I'm putting this one on, which I will journal on later. and just making it so it kind of overlaps where that seam is between the two background papers. So there, I'm just gluing that down. And I'm really liking that. And then I'm going to go in my stash. I've been trying to use up a lot of old product lately. And so these are 2 packages of, are they Studio 112 or Studio G? Something like that. I think they're like either the Michaels or the Joann's kind of in-house brand that I got out of the dollar bins at some point. And so now I am finally going to use these suckers. And I like the colors that are in it, and I like that it really really pops on the page with all those soft colors. And so I take the pop dots off the back because I don't want them to be quite that tall. And I hot glue them on, and then that button popped off, so I hot glued that back on. So those are my flowers, and then I'm going to put one more down here in the corner. And that uses up 4 flowers on here. And I didn't like that color button, and since I knew from before that the buttons popped off pretty easy, I just popped it off and changed it around with one of the other flowers and then glued the other button back on. And now I'm putting them all onto that same sheet. So I've condensed it down. Instead of 2 packets of flowers, I've condensed it down to 1. And I'll put that back in my stash. And then it needs a little more because it's still pretty plain. So I'm looking through to see what kinds of little accents I can put on here. And I had purchased some inexpensive Valentine-y things that I used on a layout here just a couple layouts ago, and they were still on my desk, so I'm just going to grab a few of these. They're just little recollections heart stickers, and they have a silver accent on them, so I'm just going to sprinkle some of those around kind of like enamel dots. And I'm really liking that. It brings, you know, just that little extra touch of metallic on there and a few more pops of that hot pink. And so I'm really liking that. And I look through to see any other little bits and pieces. And I have this little plastic thing on my desk that just has little loose bits left over from kits and whatnot. So I'm just going through it to see if there's anything I can use. And there was a couple little pieces of border that I had punched out for a different layout that were sitting in there. That's these little border pieces. And I kind of like the colored side of that, so I'm going to just adhere that down. I just dab a little bit of glue stick on the back. And the colors matched really well. And then I have these little paper pieces I want to layer in there. So I'm just kind of going through to see how they're going to fit. And then I also found a little piece of flare that just says "these days." And the picture was taken, I took it when we had gone over to my stepdaughter's house she made us dinner right around Christmas time. And that's kind of where Allison was at during that point in time. She's just a happy little baby and so healthy, and she is just growing so fast. She's just about to the point where she's strong enough that she's gonna start rolling over here anytime soon. So that's gonna be a lot of fun when she starts crawling and stuff. But she loves to have little conversations and you know, blow lots of raspberries and drool all over. So I just go ahead and put those little pieces there to kind of beef up that, you know, cluster. And then I decide to put a few more sprinkles on here. So I just put a little piece of packaging over my photo. And I have some recollections, that kind of green color. And when it dries and soaks in, it has a watercolor look. So it really goes well with that watercolor paper. And that is my finished layout. So I really love how simple it is and how well it came together. I mean, it's simple, but it still has a lot of texture and a lot of things going on with it. So, and I love all the soft colors with the little punches of hot pink and stuff. There's the Flair badge and the Recollections stickers. And so thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any comments or anything, just leave them below. Talk to you later. Bye.